Everyone thought that because I was quiet, I was weak. They took my rights, silenced my voice, and ignored me. They did not know that I was noting everything. When the time came, my revenge was silent but decisive. The day my name was crossed out in the meeting room and someone else's was written in its place, I stayed right there in my chair. A long table, white walls, the cold air of the air conditioner, and across from me my boss's voice, speaking as if nothing unusual had happened. He said, "This project will now be handled by Mike." I lifted my head and looked at him. Mike smiled and nodded. The same project I had spent 6 months on. The ideas were mine, the data was mine, but the credit was being slipped into someone else's pocket. I said nothing. I simply closed my notebook and walked out quietly. People like to believe that silence is weakness. I used to believe that too. I live in an ordinary neighborhood in Chicago. A one-bedroom apartment in an old building, where the elevator is often broken. The rent goes up every year. My salary does not. My parents live in another state struggling with their own problems. I don't even feel like asking them for help. Student loans remind me every month how expensive the past was. On top of that are last year's medical bills. One accident, a few stitches, and thousands of dollars. At the office, I was the girl who arrived on time, finished her work, and didn't talk much. When voices grew loud in meetings, I kept taking notes. When someone cut me off and repeated my idea, everyone praised them. No one ever said, "That was actually her point." I didn't argue. I learned. I learned who was hiding what from whom. Which file was incomplete. Which number was lying. At home I often sat in the dark. I didn't even feel like turning on the lights. Sometimes it felt as if I was slowly disappearing. Friends drifted away. People get tired of someone who always looks strong. No one asks why they had to become strong in the first place. Then suddenly layoffs started at the company. Names were posted on a list. My name wasn't there, but my workload doubled. Mike came by and said, "You can handle it, right?" I nodded. After that, I stayed late into the night without overtime pay. No one said thank you. Around the same time, I began to notice that something wasn't right inside the company. Budget reports didn't match. Certain numbers were being adjusted. I didn't ask questions. I saved files. Timestamps. Email chains. Screenshots. I was noting everything. People thought I was scared. In reality, I was preparing. Then one day I was called into HR. I was told there was a restructuring, and my role was being eliminated. My boss used the same old line, "It's business, don't take it personally." I pushed my chair back, stood up, and said, "Okay." That was it. No shouting. No tears. That night, for the first time, I truly cried. Sitting on the floor of my apartment, surrounded by envelopes of unpaid bills. There was fear. There was anger. But beneath it all was something else. Clarity. I knew what I had to do next. I spoke to a lawyer. Not a big name, just an ordinary man who listened carefully. I placed the documents on his desk. He examined them one by one, then looked up and said, "This is enough." In that moment, it felt like I could breathe again. The case moved forward quietly. At first, the company didn't even realize what was happening. They had already forgotten me. When the notice arrived, panic followed. Meetings were called. Phones started ringing. Mike messaged me, "Can we talk?" I didn't reply. A few months later, the matter was settled. No headlines. No drama. Just a check and a non-disclosure agreement. I didn't become rich, but I became free. The weight of my debts grew lighter. I moved into a new apartment, smaller but bright. From the window I can see the street, people walking, life moving forward. I started a new job. A smaller company but honest people. Here, when I speak in meetings, someone listens. If someone cuts me off, another person says, "Wait, let her finish." It's not a miracle. It's just respect, and sometimes that is enough. Sometimes I think about my old company. It's still operating but not the same. Some people left, some were forced out. Mike isn't there anymore either. I don't think about it with happiness. Just with calm. I didn't take revenge by making noise. I didn't raise my voice. I simply turned silence into a weapon. And the most important thing is that through all of this, I changed. I still don't speak much, but when I do, I'm not afraid. I have learned that being quiet is not weakness. Sometimes it is a form of strength that cannot be seen. But when the time comes, it changes everything. They thought I was weak. Now they know. I was just quiet. If this story spoke to you, please like this video and subscribe for more real stories about quiet strength, injustice, and self-respect. Your support helps these voices reach others who feel unseen. Thank you for watching, for listening until the end, and for standing with stories where silence becomes power.